see, trying to get all of this set up. Alright, let's see. Trying to get everything on my board straightened up. How's it going, Tonks? How are you doing? Having a little bit of trouble with my streaming devices here. Hope you're having a good Litha, Yule, whatever hemisphere you're on. It's very important to take note of that. So how's everybody doing? Long time no see. I am still screwing with my board here and trying to make sure I've got everything right. Everything is a little out of whack here, if I don't mind saying. You guys been doing alright? So Angie, how are you doing? Blessed Litha. Patricia, it's good to see you. Getting ready to go to Indiana. That sounds like a big move. And let's see, what are you doing this evening for your Letha celebration, Angie? Because I decided to throw up a live chat so I could talk to you guys and get everything together. I've got my boards a little screwed around compared to how I usually have them, so it's kind of hard for me to see who else here, how many's here. I guess it doesn't really matter. I've got you guys, and that's all I need. Really, really and truthfully. So, I mean, to all of you who are here in the Southern Hemisphere, happy Yule to you. It's good to have you here. It's good to be talking to you. And for those of you here in the Northern Hemisphere, happy Litha. And I hope everybody has a very, very good time celebrating it this year. I didn't get to do anything special, didn't get a chance to set anything up between all the doctor visits and everything that I've been trying to organize. You know, so much going on, really. I'm sorry to hear, Patricia. Really, I saw all of that on Facebook, and I am really sorry for your loss, the loss of your mother-in-law. It sounds like you really, really cared about her a lot, and it sounds like she was a brilliant woman. I have every bit of faith in that, and my prayers rest with her, as well as Brenda and her loss for her little dog that she had to choose to put down because he was sick. It sounds like everybody's having a really, really rough time right now, including myself. Oh, Myra, it's good to see you. Well, good night, Yabagu. It was good to have you drop in for the time you did, Yabgu, however you pronounce it. It was good to have you drop in for the short time you did. Anyway, come back and join us again if you will. But yeah, it seems like everybody is having a really tough time right now. And, you know, really I wanted to get on here and really wish everybody happy holidays on both sides of the both hemispheres actually. And hope everybody is doing really great. Also wanted to let everybody know what was going on with me, why I'm doing what I'm doing as far as where the show is concerned. You know, basically I just don't want a set time right now as far as when I'm going to air the shows or not, but do it when I feel like it at the time that I need to do it. Because right now with all my health conditions, which I'm okay. I mean, I've got my struggles, but I'm making it. I'm doing okay. But I need a lot of open schedule because now they're wanting me to go into therapy for my shoulder and neck, and they have me bouncing back and forth to do with doctors here and there. And I'm fixing to be having to go through tests to make sure my cancer hasn't come back and all of that. So I've just got a lot of crap going on, you know. And so I need an open schedule, and that's why I've killed the days, the scheduled days of doing the show. And it doesn't mean by any means that I'm not going to do the show. It means that I'm going to do them when I feel like it. Hey, Yamanu, it is great to see you. And Manda Moonflower, love you guys, and I've missed you. I've missed all of you guys. It's really been a struggle to be away, you know, from the show for as long as I have. I mean, because it was hard going from every day to 2 days a week, and then to have to kill it for the 2 days a week that I was doing it, it was really hard for me. And again, like I said, you know, it's not that I'm killing the show. It's not that I'm going to not do the show. It is quite simply I'm going to do them when I feel like it, whether live streaming or, you know, on regular video and then run it up, you know, because it gives me a certain amount of leeway to do it whenever I feel like it, whenever I've got the energy, you know, and so forth. I missed you guys a lot. I mean, you are my heart. You help me to stay stable with that which I'm supposed to do instead of coming down in mood with all that's going on with me. You guys give me motivation and love for what I do, even above what I've already got. And I appreciate that. And that's why I do what I do. I mean, you know, because it's not just the craft for me. It's not just practicing, but it's the people involved in it, the people I'm connected into while I'm doing what I'm doing. But, you know, I mean, here we are on 2 major holidays, and it depends on what side of the globe you're on, you're celebrating. Are you celebrating Yule, or are you celebrating Litha? You know, me, I'm celebrating Letha here in the Northern Hemisphere. But I want to say hi and blessed Yule to all of those friends we have on the Southern Hemisphere. And I love Yule. I love all the holidays. I really do. And it's really quite interesting how that shit works, right? I mean, really, it does work funny. That's my honey contacting me on the phone just to say he loves me. Isn't he a sweetheart? He's over at his mom's doing our laundry, taking care of me as he ever does. Let's see. And he is something else. And I gotta say, I love you too, baby. Let's see. Tell him I love him. Because that's what he texted me to say, is that he loves me. Anyway, he's a sweetheart. He ran me all over Houston today to get my appointments done. And I sure will, Yamanu. I'll tell him. You know, I'm getting ready to celebrate his birthday here on July the 2nd. And I'm not going to do the live stream birthday that I was going to do because everything has gotten a little crapped out on that. It's just very hard. Right now it's very hard for me to profess that I'm going to do a live stream even. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the birthday party and film some of it, and then I'll run it up to video so you guys can watch it. Sorry about the change on everything, but it's the best way I think that I can do things. And I hope he's not listening. If he is, then I've just blown it all, right? You know, not that a lot can be actually done, and here I am trying to now cover, right? But hey Glenn, how are you doing? And Serafina, 2 more pieces of my heart that I have been missing. Hope you all are well. Just jumping in the shower. I'll leave the stream on in the background. Okay, whatever you can do to be a part of us when you can be a part of us. But anyway, okay, so right now in this 5 day area of time, because a lot of people like to say that Litha is celebrated on the 24th, 25th. For me, all the holidays, for the most part, not all of them, but almost all of them fall and are celebrated between the 21st and 22nd, or 21st through 23rd. So Litha is stated that it's practiced by many people on the 24th, but to me, it is today. Also, so this is Litha for me. And on the other side of the hemisphere, or on the other hemisphere, it is now Yule. And so happy Yule to all of you on the south, and happy Letha to all of you here on the north today. Fi Black, it's good to see you. And I wanted to say thank all of you who have been supportive to the show. So many of you have sent in your support to the show, and I really, really appreciate that. You never get enough of people showing that they truly care about you or what you're doing or what you give to the masses whenever you try to give such, and I don't want to get all, bubbly and all of that. I could get a little emotional on holidays, if you know what I mean. If you guys see a request on Facebook by Black Dahlia, that's me. And anyway, I napped in my chair with a cat, a fan, and a sun streaming in on me through the window, charging crystals nearby too. Well, I went around to doctors getting my shoulder checked out, and I have a herniated disc, and they're going to end up running me through trying to get therapy on my neck before insurance will actually agree to pay for anything bigger, and then they're going to want to give me a shot in the back of the neck, in the bone, and if that don't work, then they're going to want to do surgery. So they're going to put me through the entire meal before they jump into actually getting it done. So I'm looking at it being a very long stretch here on this herniated disc, and let me tell you, it's pinching a nerve that goes in down the back of my neck and into my arm, and it's causing my arm to feel like it wants to drop off at every moment of the day. I can't even exercise to get my legs back from the damage that was done from the radiation and chemotherapy. So one problem is battling me trying to fix other problems. And so that's where I'm having a lot of big issues. And but I'm making it. I'm getting there. Can everybody hear me on the live stream good? Hey Mary at Sea, it's good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see all of you guys. I didn't expect all of you to be able to pop in. I mean, I put this up like 30 minutes before time, and I was worried that none of you would get the flyer, but I knew that if any of you did, then you'd be ready to jump in here and say hi to each other and to me, because I know we all care about each other. I believe that with all my heart. Thank you, Patricia, for the hearing check. I never know. I really don't. And Serafina, Angie, I really don't never know if it's coming through loud and clear or not, or if the picture is blocking up, because I know that sometimes this shit happens. But I've missed this so much too, and I'm trying to find a variable at which it can be done, where I don't have to be on calendar or schedule with it, because that schedule needs to be open for me to be able to take walks in the park, to get my legs back, to be able to do my exercises daily, and I never know when I'm going to have time or when my neck is not going to be hurting to where I can do that. And I'm having to take damn pain pills just so that I can do my exercise, believe that or not. Wow, it's really something else. What, did somebody see Talon come in? Like Talon, Talon is trying to heal and everything too. I think everybody is having a hard time right now. Oh, I know what you mean, Angie, and I don't take you wrong by that. But this is also a big recuperational thing for me likewise. Because I could sit around here and just kind of stew and let life take me over or whatnot. But I don't want to do that. And you guys help bring me up and liven my day up whenever I can get on and do this. Hey, Reverend Clark, it's good to see you. I'm just going to call you Alan, all right? If that's okay. I am believing, visualizing your complete healing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And for all that you do. I mean, seriously. All of you guys are just wonderful. You are the best type of therapy I could ever have. I do have to get very serious though. And me and Austin were talking in the car on the way back from Houston after all my doctor bull crap, about how we need to get on a better diet. Since all my health issues, we've been having to eat out a lot of fast food on the go all the time. And we've decided that, we need to get it back together because there's all this fighting to do with health, and to get back to good again, that we're doing. But we're really not trying as hard as we can to get life back on the track as far as bettering the health so we're not having to fight harder later. So really, we've made it a pact that we're going to be eating the vegetables more. We're going to be laying off of the sweets and the desserts that we're taking in so readily these days. Okay? And trying to do better for ourselves. I mean, I'm working hard on all these fruit trees in my yard, But of course they're not really supplying yet. They're babies, Hey Casey, how are you doing? Thank you. I can always appreciate the good energy that you guys send, and all of you guys are really, really helpful and very loving. I've missed every one of you. And I'm going to try to do the live streams more, but you're just going to have to listen for, me to throw out that red flag saying, hey, I'm going to do a live stream in 30 minutes, or hey, I'm going to do a live stream in an hour, or whatnot, or 2 hours. Because I don't know. My schedule is so wonky, and health has got to, take precedence as far as trying to get back on track. I went to the fresh market today after a sweet spree. I understand what you mean. Yes, the sweets are getting the better of me and Austin, and we're both getting a heck of a gut on us, and that is not good. We need to rewind and start eating the steamed vegetables, and I need to get back into my Japanese cooking. I love to cook Japanese food all the time. The baked fish, the steamed fish, or steamed chicken and steamed vegetables, you can't go wrong with all of that. Let's see. It's good to hear that you're doing well, Casey. It really is. I'm glad to see all of you are doing good. A whole protocol, but if you do the 8 vegetable juices a day, you won't even miss those sweets and will feel amazing within days. You can get a cheap juicer if you don't have one. No, I've got one, and we've been trying to juice more, and I'm trying to make that more of a part of what we're doing, with the herbs that are really for the blood cleansings and, and all of that. But we've been really lazy with the health thing. And while I was going through the cancer, I had made a promise to myself I would work with the herbs and stuff to make my body more alkaline and try to keep the cancer away. And I haven't held to any of this. Isn't that the pits? I mean, really, that is really bad of me. I have not been a good girl whatsoever. Let's see. Look that up later. I will. Carrot and apple juice mainly. Gerson therapy cures cancer. Right. And I started paying a lot of attention to the carrot juice thing. I actually read up a lot on the Gerson things whenever I was going through the cancer. I just don't tend to listen as good as I should. I think that a lot of us are actually very, very guilty of that. You know, and in today's society, everything is being put in commercials in front of our face, and we're being so tempted, or we're sitting there on a park bench and we're seeing somebody going through that hot fudge sundae or whatever over there on that hot day, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, and then the next thing you're finding yourself doing is getting up and running to Dairy Queen, right? Well, that's not good. And since me and Austin got together, we've both put on a massive amount of weight. And that's scary. I mean, because before we got together, I could never put on a pound. I could not put on a pound. You know, I was 125 pounds up to the age of 42. I swear, I could never pass 125 pounds. And then whenever I got with him, I hit 132 pounds, and then it started going up, and I could not slow it down. Now here I am at 168 pounds, and I feel really, really bad about myself. I agree, but it's good to remind each other cold apple juice is like coffee with 5 sugars. Yeah. Let's see. I don't crave sweets. It's strange, but I do love peanut butter. We all have our little downfalls, and peanut butter is one of the worst things for you. All of that it gives you in there. Let's see. Blessed Lady Leeanna and Merry Yule, if you know anybody on the Southern Hemisphere. Let's see. I love sweets. I'm sorry. I love a big glass of milk with some banana pudding, and I was guilty of having that earlier. Jeez. You know. But no, I'm not a big soda fan. I've never been really big on that, so that's not hard for me. But yes, in the Southern Hemisphere, it is Yule time. But yes, I had banana puddings, and my favorite, and a lot of you know this answer, what is my favorite Japanese eating place? It's the Hibachi restaurant in Baytown. And we just got back from there, and I can never leave from there without finishing up with my banana pudding. You know what I mean? But I had sushi, all kinds of sushi there. I can't go there without starting off with the sushi bar. So I'm good about that, and that's a lot less fattening, and so I tend to balance things out. That way I can go for the banana pudding afterwards and don't have to feel as heavy. But let's see. Yamanu says, high fructose corn syrup is pretty evil stuff. Well, to tell you the truth, just about everything we could find to put in our body today is pretty bad stuff. Even the stuff that is supposed to be good for you today is not as good for you as it might have been, say, in 1950. I mean, nowadays, by the time you've gotten your vegetables out of the supermarket, it's had 8 days to lose all of its most potent necessities. All of its high nutrition has been lost out of it. That's why it's good if you can go to a farmer's market just down the road, you know, and if you find out, especially if you ask them what day do they get their new shipments in, you know, then you can hit their market on that day and get all your stuff, so that starting from the beginning, you know, you've got all of the greatest nutrition, and by the time you finished up all that you had bought there, you know, which is say a week afterward, it's still as good as what it was when you got it from the market, and not going downhill to its, you know, downgrade, you know. So, I mean, really going to the farmer's market can truly be of a help to you in getting your nutrition back in gear. And it's easy for me because I live in Liberty, which is 45 minutes outside of Houston, Texas. Most of you know that Houston is the fourth largest city in the world. Or, yeah, in the world. How, or was. It still should be. But anyway, we're just 45 minutes outside of there, but it dramatically gets into the country or into small town areas as you get this far out. And so there's farmers markets and stuff around us, or rather I should say plant nurseries where they sell farmers market type stuff. But you could definitely get a lot of good food there that isn't ready for the garbage can by the time you bought it off the shelves in the store. You know, a lot of better nutrition there. We don't have food anymore. That's true. We have chemicals in the shape of it. Yeah, that's true. And even a lot of the food you get, you have to find out sometimes. You could even ask the farmer's market who their supplier is, and you could ask their supplier what kind of chemicals they put in it. If you do your homework, you can kind of put things in check for yourself. But it is a lot of legwork. It is a lot to put together to try to make sure you get a good meal and that your kids are eating at their healthiest. Plus, going to the farmer's market helps the immediate local economy. Exactly, and you need to support your local economy. Also, it helps you get out of the house for a while. It makes you stand on your feet a while and give a little exercise to the body. And, you know, and take in the sun, because a lot of them are under canopies and so forth. And it's really energizing to be there in that kind of a place. You know, all of the plants and the energy that they've got hanging around, all the fresh veggies and fruits, all done. Feel much better now. Well, that's good. It is, you know, really great to get a nice fresh shower, feel revived, and get back on your feet, you know, and especially if you've been out in the hot sun, that's for sure. But you can also, but you can also call the actual farms that go to the markets and get even better deal. That is true. That's a good point that you're making there, Mary, and a good suggestion. I would go with that one first, if it's easy enough for you, if you can get out there. You know, and that way you're firsthand finding out what they do. You can watch them prep or see them working even. A lot of them don't mind you poking around there, and they'll sell you shit in bushels. I mean, you know, right off the plant. I mean, by a day, you know, I mean, and you can't beat that. So that is one damn good idea, Mary. I go with that, really. The whole experience is therapeutic. And you know, we really do need to get into therapy more. We need to actually do better for ourselves, because we're treating ourselves like crap. I mean, it comes down to that. And it's by no means the way of life that we should choose for ourselves as being the wise ones, first and foremost, being pagans and of the heath, secondly, or firstly, whichever one you decide should come first. I mean, all of this is so important. And if we don't pay attention to our health, then what else do we have? You know, but we're coming into a bad state of health, and it's due to not eating right. It's due to not exercising. It's due to not taking things in the right way. And we're having to work 10 times harder because we are paying more. And we could actually cut that out if we go directly to the root, which is what Mary actually suggested. And, you know, I mean, you have different levels of reaching back there and getting better deals. And the farmers markets or the little roadside stands, vegetable stands, fruit stands, is one way, and you could save money that way and get it fresher than the grocery stores. And you can even go a step further, as Mary said, and go to the farmers themselves and say, hey, work out a deal with me. And most of them are more than willing to do that, because the farmers markets are cutting them down from what they would typically really would like to be getting for their merchandise. If you have a front porch or deck, anything, take some time in a day to sit on it and enjoy the fresh air. Yes, I mean, fresh air can do a world of wonders for you. And I'm right here on the freeway in my little business where we actually live right now. And no country area around us, nowhere to really walk, so it's pretty bad. I walk out in my yard sometime and then I go out to the local park whenever I can, but, when you can get out and you can breathe fresh air or just relax, take in the sun, it's a great, great thing to do. Whether you go to the park or whether you go out in the woods, if you have that, or go out to a river if it's just down the road. We have a local store opening that will only buy from local farmers, and so all of the produce will be fresh. Can't wait. Wow, that sounds good. And it's getting me all geared up for that too. And what better time than when me and my husband have made that pact that we're fixing to try harder to, get in there and do better for ourselves. Eat healthier and richer food with the vitamins that we need. Let's see. We have 4 chicken friends here. Let's see. That is 4 eggs every day, 2 for free. If you have a small fenced yard, look up backyard chickens if you like eggs. Cute little buddies. Yeah, that's true. And if you get a rooster to go with those, then it's a hell of an alarm clock for you and the neighbors, right? See, so I guess today, celebrating Letha, what better time than to be talking about nutrition, gardening, healthy manners of living, chicken farms, wildlife. This is the time. This is the best day to be going into that because we're right now on our holiday. Our holidays are celebrated about this stuff, and I find it amazing, and I'm feeling a lot more energetic these days. I think that it was good that I stepped back away from the show for the week and a half, 2 weeks that I did. I really do, because I come back in and I'm a bit charged, I feel that, I want to do the shows on a, choice thing without it being set in stone. Because like I've always said, I'm a spiritual person, not a religious person, and that means I like to fly by the seat of the pants and do things on call, not set them in stone or on a clock, and especially with all this health stuff that I'm trying to do and getting myself back into good health, and all these doctor's appointments and therapy that they're fixing to require me to do and all of that, I'm going to have a loose schedule. So I'll probably be just popping up and saying, hey, I'm doing a live stream in 1 hour. I'm doing a live stream in 2 hours or whatever, or even closer or quicker than that. You want the fluidity. You are committed by not being tied down. That's true. I'm not tied to anything. I am not religious. I am spiritual. I am fly by the seat of the pants. And I'm happy when I can give, when I feel like giving. Whenever Zeus has sent one of the muses over to speak to me and say, hey, here's what you should do. Here's what you should talk about. That's when I'm inclined to want this, That's whenever I feel the need to actually talk and become at one with everybody. And you've got to realize that I'm also quite a recluse a lot of the times. I don't think I've ever told you guys this. Lady Leeanna, even though I am an entertainer, as well as a teacher in front of, right now, 7,000 subscribers on 2 channels, I am a recluse. I can hide inside of myself quite a bit of the time, and sometimes be shy as hell, and you just would not know, But I'm also a person that loves my religion. I love to share it with other people. And I love to be at one with you guys because you guys make my day. You make my week, makes me want to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm too lazy to do. That can be quite a thing with me, by the way. Especially since I went through all this crap with the cancer and radiation, chemotherapy. It just smothered me down so much that I didn't have the energy or the will, and you guys helped to refresh and rejuvenate that will and that strength that I know that I've already got, but just fail to see at times when I want to let life pull me down. And I think we all have that capability inside of us, but it's definitely by far not the way to go. The best way is, that strength that I have in me that I get from my mother, though I don't talk to her. I mean, she's not very, very much the good mother to me lately, and so I just don't worry about it. But I can say that I did get one thing from her that I appreciate, although she can be a bitch. Let's just say that. On the lighter note of things. Okay, I get from her the ability to push forward, the strength to do anything and not give up. And that's one thing I can appreciate from her. Although I get my dad's need to be able to entertain, to give, to be able to socialize and be at one with other people, although I tend to be a recluse at times. And so was he. But he was an entertainer, and he played music. He wrote music for George Jones and other big stars back in the old days. Of course, he died in 1983. But I get creativity from my father, which also I believe would be the witchcraft, Wicca, shamanism side of me. The country and the love of entertaining, or to put myself out there to other people, to be giving to other people. I get that from my dad, a very, very good man. But that strength, that stamina, that ability to push on and keep fighting and trying no matter what tries to push you back, I get that from my mom. And two good people, but me and my mom were not talking, because through a year and a half of fighting cancer, I have not seen her show up over here to see if I needed any help or anything, and she lives 20 minutes down the road. So I don't talk to her. That's why I'm appreciative to the fact that I have Austin that loves me to the degree that he does, and I have you guys that make me want to do all that I do. And it's great. I mean, my family is here online with you guys. No, I mean, my family has always been like that. I mean, they are stuck into their own household and generally to hell with anybody else. I don't really try to heal the relationship between me and them anymore. I don't really care to have a relationship with her because I've tried so hard. I'm just exhausted from trying. If anybody went to visit anybody, it was always me going over there. Until 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago, basically, they said some things and I said some things and I drew off to my own corner, and they just haven't been here. I mean, they haven't. My mom's only been in this shop, which is also, by the way, my house as of 8 years. She's only been in here 3 times. 15 years total that I've had this place. She's been in here 3 times. And not because she's afraid of my religion either. Hey, Steampunk, it's good to see you. That's her loss. The way I feel about it is she's lost a lot because I'm the one kid that when she came into money, I wasn't up her ass trying to get any of it. But whenever she did need me for love of a daughter to help her with her foster kids whenever she was going through fostering kids and all of that, I was there to help her and all of that. But as soon as I need help going through cancer, they don't stop by my house to ask if I need anybody to wipe my ass or to see if I'm even able to walk or not, which I wasn't, you know. And so I can say, you know what, that's their loss, and it shows me what kind of people they are. So I'm not crying over that anymore, although it did bother me a little bit for a while. It didn't even bother me a lot because I knew who they were from long, long ago. I believe my dad, who died in '83, I believe he was the one that held this family together. And whenever he died, then I feel that my family went their own way and really just gave a shit about whoever was in their household. I bounced around visiting people, staying weekends with them and all of that, you know, trying to, you know, keep everybody a whole, you know, but it didn't work out too good. You know, now I've got Austin, you know, I've got my own responsibilities, I've got my own health to try to get back in order, and I've got you guys. And that's what I need. I've got a few friends and a few students, you know, here in the world also, you know, and I feel pretty devoted. I feel pretty loved. So I'm not lacking for anything. You know, you guys have been tremendous, and don't let anybody say that you're not, you know. Let's see. We shall cover you in our mantle of love, spreading from all over the world. You know what? That sounds like a hell of a lot of love. And I guess I could take that. I could be smothered in that. You guys are wonderful. I'm sorry about your family. Let's see. Trying to catch up here on the boards. Steampunk says, I'm sorry about your mother sending positive vibes. And sorry about your family treating you that way. That's them. I think that they're very selfish and they make good excuses. Austin will actually see mom come into Walmart where he's working, right? And she'll say, well, how's Leeanna? I've been, you know, wanting to see her, but, you know, she doesn't even call. Well, I tried to call all the time. I just gave up on it. And Austin was so infuriated about that, but he kept it in and was the nice person he always is. You know, but he was a little, you know, ticked off whenever she said that. You know, that she, you know, because she's at Walmart right there, which is only 5 minutes from my house. You know, she was at Walmart apologizing to him for not being able to get over to see me, but she's right then 5 minutes away. And it's a year and a half of me recovering from cancer. You know, she could have been here. She only lives 20 minutes away. So anyway, but it's all good. You know, I have Austin. Austin takes care of me. When Rodney's able to come over and talk to me, he does. It's not down to you to make amends. Not anymore. I was trying to hold the family together as much as I could, but, you know, I can't do it. Especially now that I've got battles, you know. But, you know, no, I know what you mean for Black. Meaning her come and see me. Right, because she's just making excuses, and that's what Austin was saying. Lisa, I'm not shocked. You're always late, girl. But, you know, I mean, it's all good. Really, I do have my family. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys are just too far away. You know, I can talk to you here. I can talk to you on Facebook. You know. But, you know, I think that's the closeness that I've got. And Austin, you know, he would walk through fire for me. I have every bit of faith in that. He basically has. He's gone through hell. Bless his heart. I have put Austin through so much hell through all of this cancer stuff that I was battling and all the battles that I'm going through and the fallout of it now. You know, I can be a cranky bitch. I really can. I can be a cranky bitch. You know, and I can rag on him sometimes, and then I'll feel so bad about it. I'm sure he understands and knows that it's because I have my bad days. And trust me, some of the pains, some of the things I'm going through, it can put me in a pretty bad place. And it's good whenever I delve more into my spiritual side and do the things that I like to put myself into, such as my work, making incense. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a video showing you guys and talking to you about the importance of making your own incense soon. And I've been concocting that in my head over about the past 2 to 3 days. Yes, Austin loves me more than anything. And, I've brought him down, throughout my battles and fights. I've really brought him through hell, with my mood swings while I was on the medicines and going through the pains that I was, and I guess a lot of people can tend to do that, cursing somebody that's trying to help you whenever you're, going through bad times, maybe even feeling sorry for yourself at points. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just, being in pain or whatever that makes you lash out. But I've put him through some hell and he's hung in there with me, But yeah, hey, welcome, Sheena. It's good to see you. Missed you also, and it's good to have you back. And like I was telling everybody else, I'm going to be doing the live streaming. I'm just going to have to do them when I feel like it and not try to do a scheduled things, because the things that I'm going through right now and the time that I need to be open. But yeah, I'm wanting to get more into the showing you how to concoct your own incense. I'm wanting to talk to you about intention and what the importance of it is, because I had somebody ask me recently, well, if you don't have to follow the book on bringing this into your circle, or if you don't really need anything but a candle, then what is candle magic but then just burning a candle? And there's a lot more to it than that, And I've been watching some other YouTube's, streams, and they've kind of inspired me on a few things, since I started going through some things a while back. Then I've kind of just started doing things on a mechanical basis, just the talking and things. But, I'm wanting to get more into the fruit of it all. The intention, why do we actually put incense in if we don't have to have it? Why would we make our own incense when they have it on the store shelf? What are you supposed to be doing to put your intentions into things? How do you choose what herbs you would put in while you're making your incense and all of that? And I think that there's a lot for us to cover. And I really like that a whole lot, And some people prefer resins over charcoal. Some people prefer dry herbs over charcoal. Some people prefer gum, sweet gum, and things like that would stick your charcoal and oils together. Some people just like charcoal that's been bathed in essential oils and then dried. There's a lot of ways you can do that. But no, I haven't thought about doing classes online at all. I think that I've got a rather big class right here, but people are trying to tell me that I should, and maybe it's something I should embark on, so I'm not thinking on it right now, but I would keep an open mind that it might be something that I would do later, perhaps, Leeanna. I mean, it is definitely a good idea. But yeah, we're doing this live right now. As far as actual practice goes, you've got to realize, though, that I've got about a 2-foot area right here, and if I move too much to the left or if I move too much to the right, the camera doesn't get me. So there's no dancing around the circle here, and, throwing around a lot of big magic without getting lost in the camera. Now, y'all have seen me on a few occasions concoct a really big ritual in front of the camera where I got my entire altar and all of that, but I am just trying to put all this together, And so I'm really new at live streaming. Y'all have got to bear with me because I'm not good at it yet. You know, I mean, I would say that I'm not bad at it. I mean, I'm a pretty good teacher, I think, and I'm a pretty good entertainer, I think. I'm a fierce friend. I mean, that's a given, you know. Uh, but I do my best. And right now I'm trying to learn how to live stream because yes, I know everything that I know about teaching and everything that I know about witchery and spiritual pathways. But I'm having to learn how to live stream. I'm having to learn technology and cameras and equipment and stuff like that. you know. So, I mean, I love what I do and I love being at one with you guys. I mean, to say the least. I mean, you've been wonderful. Well, I think it takes a lot of work and I'm getting it together. I'm getting comfortable with the camera, I think. You know, I think I'm getting comfortable with the camera. I do think that once in a while I have those, okay, I'm in front of a lot of people moments, and then I get a little red in the face, but I bury it and say, okay, you know what? Let's stick to the topic. Let's talk about it mechanically, and then after it passes a minute, I'll loosen back up. You know, so there's still those times because if you remember, and if you look at some of my oldest shows, then I was sitting here like this, talking very strictly to the point and very roughnecked, you know, and maybe not even talking so good. But we're what 2 years into being in front of a camera. Although I might add, though, I didn't ever live stream before a month and a half ago, I believe. Maybe 2 months at the most ago. You guys would probably have kept up with the time more than I did because I have just had so much going on. But no, you guys helped me. You guys actually supply, and I found this out to be very, very true. You know, coming up with the topic, I've found myself at various instances say, okay, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and I haven't sat down, you know, to think about what the topic should be, at least the beginning topic or anything. And Austin said to me, well, honey, I mean, they like to ask you questions. You don't even really have to come up with a topic because if you don't have one, they're going to supply that to you. And then I thought about it and it calmed me down. And I'm like, you know, he's so right. I mean, the topic is what the topic is. You know, it's a bunch of friends getting together in a room here. And he didn't say this, but this is where I went in my head. There's a bunch of friends here, you know, that are talking about something they share in common, something they really love and want to be a part of and want to talk to other people who want to be a part of it. And when there are friends talking, it's not just up to one person to come up with what the topic should be. And so there you have the topic. Friendship, love, what you have in common, free will, and light. I mean, that's there, and it's prominently within all of us, easy, without having to sit down there and beat our brains in. And look at this. I've started talking very calmly and without stammering and without thinking and just free-flowing now because now I'm talking from passion. And that's what I'm talking about now. I am still new and learning how to live stream. And that's not just saying that I'm having to learn the technology of it or whatever, or just the light idea of getting comfortable with it, but more to the point, to flow with it and be so natural with it that it doesn't matter, you know, to be comfortable with who I am and with people that are like me, that chose actually to be here in this room tonight and actually stayed for it, you know. And you can see that there are people coming in and leaving, and we'll get up to 17 people sometimes 22 people, and then back down to 8 or 13, but it is who wants to be here. I mean, that's what it's all about. You seem relaxed a bit more now, but I always like the seriousness you have. You know a lot of stuff. I like to think I know a lot of stuff. I really do. I feel that I've studied a great deal on multiple pathways. I actually chose not to undertake certain pathways because they were so extensive that they would have devoured my entire time of 32 years of study, such as astrology. I actually thought about getting into astrology and really liked it to a great degree back in 1983-84. But I realized what extreme knowledge you would have to get from that. How many facets there are to it. It's a life study. And I actually rejected going into that so devoutly because I wanted to be able to apply myself into the so many other areas I actually could. And so that was the choice that I made. And I don't regret that whatsoever to this day. And so, yes, I appreciate the acknowledgement from you guys that I'm very helpful and that I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. And I feel that you guys do too. Also, I mean, I depend on you guys whenever I might have a brain fart. Excuse the language. I might have a brain moment where I get lost. You guys have such a devout amount of knowledge, and more than what you yourself will acknowledge a lot of the time or give yourself credit for. But I rely on you a lot because when I'm talking and trying to stay on subject, mind you, and a lot of people will get pissed because they think I'm ignoring them. When the room is scrolling on, and I'm trying to stay on topic with what I originally felt needed to talk about, and if I jump back and forth, I'm just all over the place. I'm going to look like a monkey in a cage. But you guys talk to each other a lot of the time, and you'll give each other ideas and have other conversations going on in the backdrop, straightening up somebody else on something that maybe they needed a bit of knowledge on in this particular area or that. And so I rely a lot on your knowledge, and I actually take my hat off to you for that. I mean, there's a lot of very smart people here, a lot of great teachers. You guys have it. Yamanu could get up here and do what I do. He really could. He is more leaning toward Egyptology, things of that nature. I try to stay very, very eclectic, but that's because I have so many other people here. But if Yamanu wanted to be extremely eclectic, and he really is in a lot of ways, let me say that. Maybe I said things a bit too extreme to one direction because Yamanu is multidimensional also like I am. He prefers Egyptology to a great degree. But you guys are very knowledgeable, and I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of years in knowledge, not in living years, but in knowledge that you guys actually make up here. I never thought that messages were being ignored. You would address one that you thought should be addressed from my perspective. I know steampunk, but we have actually literally been accused of being cliquish quite simply because I didn't see somebody's message on the board, and the board was actually moving to my defense, the board was actually moving quite fast, and so I just didn't see it, but Yamanu could be a teacher and do this that I do, And maybe one day he'll start his own channel. I would encourage him to do so, and I would visit it. See you later, Fee Black. It was good to see you while you were here. You have a happy holiday. Anyway, yes. So the knowledge and wisdom here in the room is to be commended, and actually, I still want to start doing some interviews with you guys. I'm gonna do them probably in the backdrop and not online, live, but do them in the backdrop, recorded, and then run them up. And Yamanu will be my first one that I'll probably interview. And it'll be about his religious practices, and he has a lot to say. I know that he does. And so you'll see what I mean whenever that comes out. And so I would say that y'all need to keep your eyes and your ears peeled for that, because I'm still trying to learn technology, but Austin says that we're set up and ready to go for that. Austin says that we're ready to go for that, Yamanu, when we're ready. So, I mean, that sounds really good. So I need you to start thinking about what kind of, what exactly, well, actually it should be about your base path to begin with. People should get to know you for you. And it doesn't mean that you can't be a regular guest on the show either, by the way. I think that we'll have several regular guests, but there are plenty of people on here that I could actually interview. Cindy Lou who isn't here today, by the way, has actually been here live on the show. And Serafina don't live too far away to where she couldn't take a little weekend trip over here or whatever and come be a part of the show one day if she ever gave me a holler and said, "Hey, Leanna, I wanna be on my way over there and come and visit and be a part of your show live," then I would say, come on, bring your ass up, The same with all of you other guys. And I'm right outside of Houston, so there's a lot to see out here, But discussion points are a lot easier, Yamanu, than what we're surmising. The idea will start from, who are you and what is your base path? Tell me about yourself, and I mean, it'll go from there. We're not going to be at a loss to talk, I guarantee it, But, and Glenn also, if you ever wanted to visit, you would just let me know, All of you guys. Tattoo Dolly, it was good to see that you could make it this evening. Always a pleasure. Happy Yule and happy Litha, depending on what side of the globe you're on. But, yeah, I'm looking really forward to that, Robert. And it'll probably be this upcoming week, if I have my say about it. I just need to make sure Austin's here. He won't be part of the program, but I need to make sure he's here to work any technical matters, for me the first time or two, By Nova Scotia, Canada. So probably not me, but hello, and maybe Earth is not a globe, eh? And maybe it's still flat and we just really never got that. But it would be really lovely if you could visit me, Mary. I would love that. That would be awesome. And Omira, I mean, it would be lovely for any of you guys to come in and be a part of the live show and spend a weekend with me or something. Kick back, do the slumber party thing, chill out, and maybe drink a few drinks or whatever, Do a couple of live streams. Do one drunk. By a few of us one day. That would be cool. I would welcome that. Hopefully I'll have a better house, because I've actually had quite a few of you say, "Hey, Lady Leeanna, why don't you do a 360 with the camera and give us a look at your domain there?" And I'm like, no, no way. I'm actually in a 12 by 24 portable building that's on the side of Highway 90, and it serves well for an office, the building that I actually conduct my readings in. And it actually did good whenever I had drunk witches, when I had margaritas, when I had shelves all around the walls. It actually served as a good place for selling my physical merchandise. you know, and now it serves for a house and tarot card reading shop as well as office. But it is not a really witchy looking place. It's not. This is the witchiest part of it right here. Everything you see here is the witchiest part. And there might be a few tiny other things, but you really, really would have a hard time picking them out. You know what I mean? I'd love to see a few guests from here on the shows. You haven't seen Cindy Lou Who? That's her name, by the way. You haven't actually seen her on the live show? Because I've got a video here somewhere where she was on it. And she's one that comes in here and talks a lot. Let's see. I'll keep y'all in control since I don't drink. I guess that would be our dictated driver, designated driver, and the one that'll try to keep us in check. Because before I know it, we'll turn on the channel the next day and find out we made total idiots of ourselves, and we'll have tried to do each other's makeup and look like a couple of the members of Insane Clown Posse. We should have a cauldron serving as a punch bowl. Yeah, I hear that. A spiked punch, of course. It's quite nice, actually. What is the shop? I think that Lisa's talking about the shop. But, I mean, it's a little, you know, I mean, it could use a little work. It's been a while since I've put any money into the shop here, you know, to try to pull it back to good, you know. But thank you for that, Lisa. Lisa's actually been here to the physical shop also, and maybe she'll come down here one day and do part of the show with me. I didn't even know that she was still in the room. She was so quiet. But Lisa Langston up here is actually a good friend of mine here from Southeast Texas, and actually just lives, what, an hour and a half from me, I think? Maybe 3 hours at the most. Yeah, you're invited. Of course you are. Come up and do one of these shows with me and be live. I'll make you a star, baby. I'll make you a star. Isn't that what they all promise? I think that would be a hell of a show. You know, we can sit here and cackle like a couple of old crones that we are, and speak to the masses, you know, and kind of convey the words of the Almighty's, if you will. Let's see. Hey, speak for yourself. I'm a fully qualified makeup artist. But are you good when you're drinking? Anyway, shop. Shop. Anyway, yeah, I think that would be a fun thing. And I would let any of you guys come over here and be a part of the show. I mean, any of you are welcome. I would love that. You know, just gotta shout it out. Say the word. I take charcoal and clay and just smear it all over my face and call it natural makeup. Then cackle when they stare for the effect. Oh goodness. I imagine that would be a good way to embody the pentacle of trust in all beings around you for that time. But really, you know, there's a lot to be said for mud packs or clay packs. I mean, put a few herbs in there and you have medieval facials. I mean, seriously, not even an hour. You're not even an hour away? Huh. Well, I mean, why haven't you visited? Oh, no vehicle, I guess. Let's see. I have newt and tongue of dog. Hey. No, none of that. None of that. I'm cheap and picky, so yes, it's perfect. Yeah, but that's what I tell people. In the oldest days, they didn't have salves. They would use gums from trees. They would use mud, if they had nothing else, to act as a base. You know, for if you wanted herbs to stick to the flesh, like if you had an open wound and you didn't want infection to get into it, you would take certain herbs and you would grind it up real good and you would mix it into the muds and you would smear it after you bathed it as good as you could with what you have. And you would actually, and that's if you couldn't find a witch hazel plant or or a mint plant or something else for cleansing, tobacco or whatever, you know. But actually smear that mud into the wound with all them herbs in it to try to heal you up and keep the infection out. Honey is absolute gold, right? That sure is. Back to our roots. I mean, that's what more of us need to do, and we'd probably save a lot of money. You know, salt water. When you have a lot of open cuts, or let's say that you're in the Brazilian jungle and you're getting chewed up by insects or whatever, the best thing that could save you, I mean, to heal those up, is the salt water that's all around you. But yeah, Lisa, you ought to one day come over and be a part of my show with me. I would love that for sure. You know, just fly me a message, a text, or something, or a Facebook message, and say, "Hey, I was thinking about coming over and seeing you." And 6 days out of 7, I'm usually here. I mean, to be honest, I don't really go anywhere. You know, Glenn, sorry that you have to go. It was good to see you. Come back and visit us again as soon as you can. Hop on a broom and get over here. Lisa, that's what Yamanu says. But anyway, no, I really wanted to get on here and I wanted to wish everybody a beautiful, beautiful Yule. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, and I don't think we have anybody here from the Southern Hemisphere tonight, actually. If there is, happy Yule to you. But to all of you that I believe are here in the Northern Hemisphere, happy Litha. I really hope that you have a good holiday and that you celebrate it to the best of your ability. Really, guys. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who didn't know, if you join me on my Facebook, you'll see that I'm letting everybody know that I actually got featured in a magazine, a Houston magazine. And it shocked the hell out of me. They actually sought me out and wanted to do an interview on me about not only my tarot card readings, but my witchery likewise. So, opening the world's eyes a step closer through this magazine. And it's, let's see, the name of the magazine was Village Houston. And a pretty big magazine there that talks to people about the local businesses there. And that made me feel pretty good. And if you click on that link, you can actually go and visit that and read that article that they did on me. And it's a very formidable article, very long. And it shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, wow. You know, I'm really getting to be known everywhere now. In that article, it talks about my channels here on YouTube a little bit. It talks about my witchery. It talks about my tarot card readings, my service and business. And so people are really getting to know me. And it's because they're seeking me out, not vice versa. People actually also wanted me to do the Houston Pagan Pride Day Festival this year as a guest, as well as to interview other guests. You know, but one of the people got rude with me, so I refrained. You know, like I said, if I feel that people are not being good to me and it sets wrong with my spirit, then I'm going to back away and I'm going to find me a peaceful space again. You know, and the people asked me to do a favor for them, and then they acted like they were interviewing me, you know. And it's like, okay, you sought me out due to my celebrity here on the channels and my teachings of other people and the interviews that you've seen me conduct for even the past Pagan Pride Day Festival. And you're going to, you know, try to sit here and, you know, question me about a bunch of stuff. And it started sounding rude to me. So I told them, I'm sorry, I cannot do this for you. And I backed away from being a part of that this year. Maybe next year they'll approach me and they'll be a little less rude about it. And they'll appreciate that they could actually go online and see any one of 210 videos that will tell them that I know what I'm doing, or that they don't have to question my abilities within paganism. And that's what they were doing. and then telling me whenever I questioned her on what she was doing, stated to me, well, I'm being relied on to be protective over this and the other. And I said, hey, y'all approached me, you know. Anyway, so I just put them in timeout and said basically, you know what, I'm not going to be a part of that. I have to reject your offer this time, and I went a different way. And somebody else is trying to get me to do a radio show where I would be featured on paganism and talking to the people there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because I'm not a very, very trusting person to begin with, if you know what I mean. Because you could get cornered into a place where people are too... Does he not know? That's Austin again trying to call. Anyway, basically, I'm not a very trusting person to begin with, and for all you know, you could be cornered by some reverend or minister who wants to get you up there and try to make an ass out of you or something. And so until I know exactly who I'm dealing with, I'll refrain from giving an indication as to whether I'm going to do something like that or not, But I've had some pretty raw deals lately. I mean, people asking me to do a favor for them and then interviewing me and then telling me they feel they have to protect their people. And I'm like, okay, this don't feel very welcoming. And this is Houston Pagan Pride Day people, okay? And they're talking to me like this. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And I could also, they offered me the ability to actually be able to interview Christopher Pinzak, if any of you know who he is. He's one of the bigger New Day writers, actually surpassing a lot of the older, more mystique writers of the old days. I'm going to have to answer this. Honey, I'm in a live stream right now. Yeah. Alright, bye-bye. I love you. Anyway, I could actually be able to interview some of the larger book writers if I actually did the Houston Pagan Pride Day Festival. But, I mean, I've got to go there and endure 8 hours of extreme heat, and it's in August or something like that. Yes, it's in August, and they're wanting me to do this, but they could act a lot more appreciative to me before I would actually do that. And so I think, they need to know who they're talking to, right? I mean, they're wanting me for my celebrity. They're wanting my face, and one of the things is they wanted me to advertise for them on my show, behind all my videos, or before all my videos, all the way up to the day, that they would have this Pagan Pride Day Festival. But then they, want to interview me and see if I've got what it takes to do their show after they asked me to do the favor. And I'm like, what? Okay, this is just crazy and it don't make any sense. And I'm like, woman, you need to go and you need to check yourself, And I didn't say that to her, but that's how I felt. I did say, ma'am, I've got to reject your offer. And she thought it was because I was refusing to sign an agreement to keep people off of the films that asked not to be on the film or in the pictures. And I told her, I said, woman, I'm used to doing these videos. And I did say it in this exact words. I said, I'm used to doing these videos and working with other people. And I can respect other people that do not want to be on film. I covered your event last year and no one bitched about it. I said, but why I'm rejecting your offer is because you can't respect me and you just insulted me, And so I'm not going to be doing their event this year, although they wanted me to. And I thought I would tell y'all that because I had told you on a video before a couple of weeks ago that they had approached me and was debating on whether I was going to do that. So I am not going to do that this year. And that's to clue you in on that. They didn't do their homework. Well, they didn't, and the fact of the matter is they're interviewing me. What branch of paganism are you on? Woman, you approached me. You asked me to do a favor because you know what I do online. Go online and watch a damn 20-minute video. I've got plenty of them, you know. But don't insult me. Don't insult, what I do. And don't want my masses or the faces of people for me to advertise for you and not want me. I mean, because you don't get one without the other. And it was just crazy. And so, I mean, I think that she deserved everything for me to say, whatever. Patricia, I'm sorry to see you go. You take care of yourself. Brightest blessings. But it seems like someone forgot to do some research. I agree, steampunk. I'm not saying I'm the biggest thing in the world, but I have plenty of videos out there that access my resume, right? I mean, if you can't go and watch a video, then you just really couldn't crack a book open or have time for anything within paganism at all. But the last time I attended Houston Pagan Pride Day, I actually covered the event for them without them asking me to. I actually did it for my show here. And they loved it. They wanted me to come back and do it again. But whenever I walked in there, and this was a year ago, when I walked in there, I had people coming over and acknowledging me, knowing who I was, and it actually flabbergasted me because it was my first outing after I had started creating the channel. And I had been doing it for about a year before this, but I didn't think that many people would know me, so when people came over to me in the Houston Pagan Pride Day Festival, whenever I went and was covering it, people were saying, hey, I thought I knew that voice, etc., etc., and I'm like, wow, I didn't know I was known, and it just kind of blew me away, right? But it made me feel good because it tells me that I'm not an unknown person. And that's really more about people loving what I do, appreciating me, feeling that I have something to give to them. Because that's what I live to do, is to be one that has something to contribute, to be a part of the bigger masses, I mean, that's what it's really about with me, and I feel that to a large degree we all do want to please in that way. It's really just basic respect if you ask someone to do an event like they asked you to do, and they did. One of them came and they said, hey, can you do this event for me this time? Hey Bubba, it's good to see you. Always good to see you. But they came up to me this time, this year, said, you covered the event last year and it was just awesome. You know what I mean? He actually said, and it was awesome. Will you do it for us this year? Because we want you to do this. And we'll even give you the chance to interview some of the bigger book writers again and so forth. And I said, sure, no problem. I was ready to do it for them. And after they asked me, I already started working the next day on putting together some promos for advertisements for their show to be implemented into my show. And actually creating advertisements of my own to be placed into their flyers for their show, because they wanted me to do this. But then I was surprised whenever I went on Facebook, the same guy contacted me on Messenger, and then he says, hey, wait a minute, and he puts this other girl on, and she starts popping out with the questions. And then this guy says, after she took, 15-20 minutes between every question, and I thought she was asking him as a friend, and he says, such and such, do you have any other further questions for Lady Leeanna? And I said, wait a minute, what is this about? Why are y'all asking me questions? For friendship, I thought. Tell Brendan I said hi. Tell him I love him, and it's good to hear that he's doing good. But she started saying all of this to me, and I said, I thought as friends is why you're asking me the question. And I said, I'm not interviewing for anything. And then I told them, I have to reject your offer. I would have done this as a favor to you, but you're interviewing me and you're acting like a horse's ass. and you disrespected me. You know, if you want to know about me, if you want to know what I can do, and you're wanting me to advertise to you, to my masses, to the people that I teach, you know, then you're going to ask me if I know how to do my job? Anyway, so it was just really, really crazy. And so I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do that radio show either that somebody else is asking me to do. Just simply because I don't know who the people are. I have never heard of the interviewer. And it sounded very skeptical to me. Like it may be a reverend that would try to get me on the radio and then start pumping out all kinds of asinine questions, trying to make a fool out of me, trying to trash our religious beliefs and all of that, you know. Praying that you're healing and getting full of positive energy. I am. I'm really doing good. I have been having my battles, but I'm working on it. And I'm definitely not giving up the fight, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, I've got some really, really good intuition. That's why I do my psychic readings. Is because I'm very good at not only helping myself, but others. And, you know, I really have a lot of faith in everything that I do. I've been doing it for, in all reality, I've been doing psychic readings for 32 years. Okay? Now, I will say that for 16 of those 32 years, because I am a perfectionist, and I don't believe that I have the right to charge anybody for a reading until I absolutely know what I am doing within that I'm charging for. I didn't allow myself to go into business doing my readings for 16 of those years that I read tarot cards. For 16 of 32 years, I actually read for friends, for models, people that wanted a reading but understood that I was new and doing it for the knowledge and wisdom. 16 years I did this and would not charge a dime for my readings. And for another 16 years, I did readings for people now on a professionalistic level. And I have every bit of faith that I know that what I'm doing. I know how to conduct myself. I know how to counsel people. And it is good to know how to counsel people when you're dropping information on them, especially if it could be negative at times. And I'm a realistic person. I tell you the bad as well as the good, and not just what you want to hear. And that's the way any good psychic reader should be, you know. And by the way, I've started doing readings on Skype. If any of you are interested, friend me on Facebook and you can get more information from there, because that is my hallway to all my social media. And if not, you can go to mysticshadowinsights.com, which is my website. And I would appreciate any of the support you guys can give. You know, support the channel if you wish, or support my business by getting a reading if you would like, on whatever level you would like to. But yes, I have every bit of faith in what I do. And I've been doing it for a long time. Let's see, the positive and the negative. Let's see, what is positive and what is negative? They preach condemnation and not love. Well, I like to be open-minded and fair. There are a lot of good Christians that actually watch our show. And a lot of you may not know who they are. We had Reverend Allen in here earlier, who is supportive of the show, and actually donated $25 to the channel here recently. I have some really good supporters here. Serafina is one of our biggest supporters. And let's see, Stephanie Jackson is one of our biggest supporters. Brenda, she's one of our biggest supporters. There are several others, and I'm getting those brain moments now, so I'm losing myself and trying to think. But you guys have been wonderful and, you know, have taken us far. We have gone so far with all that we're doing here. And I think that we're all more positive than negative. I will say Ah. Well, that would be good whenever y'all can get over here. I hear you about the transportation thing. But no, I like to think that we're very positive here. But once in a while, we'll get a negative person through the chat room here, through the live stream, who will kind of set the show on a negative end here. You know, all we can try to do is divert that as much as we possibly can. And, you know, and so forth. Just try to do the best we can and try to overlook the negative things that would be said and try to avert the situation as early as I possibly can. Because sometimes I'll know ahead of time what the person is about. I'll feel it. And I'll know where they're going with things from the first sentence that they put on there, even if it isn't a strong indication, even if it sounds like standard talk to you guys. A lot of times I'll pick up exactly where they're going to be going. And I should trust my instincts and do what I would naturally do whenever I know that someone is going to be a barren, you know, a burden to bear, you know. Instead, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, and then I regret it later. So, I mean, pardon me for being the good person, you know, what can I say? Instead, I let them bring the show down to a negative halt, and I can't do that anymore. I need to find ways of averting that, and that's why I'm appointing more marshals to the channel here. I mean, Serafina and Yamanu and Austin and let's see, I have a few people that are actually watching over the channel, but you can never have enough. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Please, by all means, if you haven't friended me on Facebook, then do so under Eclectic Spiritualist is my Facebook name, Eclectic Spiritualist. Or you can follow my page, Lady Leeanna, if you're into the witchery, or follow my page if you're into the tarot card readings and psychic knowledges. You know, follow me on my Facebook, be a part of us there, and you'll have a doorway into all other things. It was good to be at one with all of you. Happy St. John's Eve, happy Litha, happy Yule, everybody. And I hope it is a beautiful celebration for all of you. Take care of yourself, and merry part. Bye-bye. Thank you, Omira. It was beautiful to see you, as ever. And it's always good to talk to you on Facebook. Hopefully, Mary, I see still here. When you read people for this long, you have intuition plus experience with those feelings. Reading cards is like proving your feelings are right. That's true. But anyway, merry part, everybody. I love you all. Take care of yourself, and by all means, celebrate hearty and be at peace, be at ease. Bye-bye.